my name is Tracy Eketiri in full. Welcome. You've made it. If you're watching this video, it means you actually clicked on the link to watch our VitaForge official launch video. Yay! If you've not subscribed, do want to subscribe so you can become notified of our videos when we post new videos. So for our launch, like I already said in our previous videos, I'll be talking on a holistic guide to body transformation and healthy living. In this video, I'm going to be talking about basically a lot of things. I'll be talking about my journey. I'll be talking about why I started my fitness journey, some common myths about weight loss, different body types, understanding your body type. I'll talk about strategies that worked for me. So basically, one of the reasons why I started my journey is there's this thing about having a low self-esteem, right? A lot of people get to struggle with it and people get to define their life in that light. Well, I was one of those, I think 2 years back. So one of the reasons why I started working out was because I really did not like how I looked then. I thought I was too fat, and I was struggling with a low self-esteem. So I wanted to lose fat for all of that reason. But I think 6 months into my journey, I got to realize that, or rather, the first thing I wasn't prepared for is that we all have different body types. So no matter how much I felt that I was going to lose weight and look a certain type of way, I learned a little bit too late that my body type will not afford me the unmanageable kind of look. I would be able to lose weight, but I would always be on the chubby side, which is actually not a bad thing in itself. So I'm saying all of this to say that we really should not decide that we want to lose weight because of a stereotypical reason or what we think society defines as fine or beautiful. So very quickly, I'll be sharing my before and my after photos. You could actually see that, I think, to be fair, I wasn't looking so bad here, but then, yeah, these are like the difference in my legs and all of that, my facial fat. I lost a lot of facial fat and even body fat. Now, so moving on to the next thing I quickly want to talk about. Let's talk about some common myths about weight loss. The first one I want to debunk is starving helps weight loss. It's not true. Starving yourself does not help you to lose weight. However, what it does is it will slow down your metabolism because your body will feel starved. Your body will feel like it's not receiving a lot of food. So it will slow, instead of starvation to help you lose weight, it will slow down your body metabolism. And what this does is your body will now begin to feel starved, and instead of helping you lose weight, you end up losing fat. Another bad thing about starving is it encourages binge eating. By the time you have starved, let's say you starve yourself from the hours of 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., you would notice that your hunger drive is actually more, and you end up eating more. Like you end up eating times 2 like you would on a normal day. So all that starving that you did was actually a waste of time. So instead of starving, it's good you practice intermittent fasting. So another thing I want to talk about, or another myth about weight loss that I want to debunk, is that cardio is the only way to lose fat, which is also not true. Cardio is definitely not the only way to lose fat. While cardio workouts helps to burn calories, strength training is equally important for you to transform your body. Your muscle tissue requires more energy to maintain than fat. So resistance training is an effective long-term method of fat loss. So strength training, resistance training, they are more effective than cardio. Now this is not to the end to say that we do not include cardio in our routines. Of course we do, but they are not the only way to lose fat. Now the last myth, or rather the second to last myth I want to break is spot reduction works. What do I mean by spot reduction? Let's say you want to lose belly fat, and then the only thing you focus on is going to the gym and working on your stomach Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm trying to break it to you, sweetheart. You cannot lose belly fat like that. Losing belly fat would require a lot of work, working on your body overall, and then what you eat, what you don't eat. Spot reduction, when we say spot reduction, now what that means is focusing on only one spot of your body does not help you to work on that part of your body as much as you want it to. The last myth I'll be talking about is carbs are bad and should be avoided. It's not true. Yes, carbohydrates are a vital micronutrient and the body's main source of energy. The trick is in selecting healthy carbs and not eliminating them altogether. Prior to this lunch, I made a video where I spoke about swallow not being your problem, and then I talked about fufu. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is there are good carbs and there are bad carbs. Good carbs are those that are present in like our whole grains, our fruits, our vegetables, and our legumes. These offer fiber, vitamins, and minerals for our overall health. And then the bad carbs would be refined and processed carbs such as your white bread, your pastries, your noodles, sugary beverages. All of these tend to lead to a weight gain instead of a weight loss, which is why these are the things that should be avoided. Carbs in themselves are not bad. Moving on, I want to talk about body types. So we have 3 main body types, and for the course of this class, we'll be talking about the 3 main body types are naturally slim. These are the people that they have very fast metabolisms. You know that friend that you eat an entire meal, like a whole course, and it's just like they are not eating, and then you are wondering like, why I don't eat as much as you do, but it's more like I gain weight more than you that doesn't eat so much. So to break it to you is because they have very, very fast metabolisms. So on my screen, I'll be showing you okay, these if you look at the right at the corner at the bottom there, you will see what an ectomorph what an ectomorph looks like. There are people that they are naturally slim. Now the next body type we're talking about are mesomorphs. These are people that they are naturally athletic. They look stronger, they have this athletic look, they gain muscle and then they gain fat. A little bit relatively easy. However, they also need to balance their diet so that they don't end up losing too much or losing too much fat at the same time. Now the last body type is the endomorphs, which you can see displayed on my screen. There are a lot of people that endomorphs are those kind of people that probably from drinking a little bit of water. Now I'm just drinking, not really water, right? But eating little, you notice that these people just tend to blow up, quote unquote. Well, this is because they have a very slow body metabolism. Their body takes more time to digest food. So that's why for an endomorph to lose body fat, you have to pay very, very close attention to how much calories you consume. They have to focus on cardio, but not so much of cardio. They also focus on strength training, and then they also consume moderate carb diets. Now, very briefly, I want to talk about why same diet equals the same result is a lie. What do I mean? There are times you could hear that your friend paid for a customized meal plan or a customized weight loss plan, and like, she's my friend, I can use this. Hello, sorry, newsflash. As much as she's your friend and she looks like you both have the same body type, you can't. This is because our bodies function differently, no matter how you think you look alike with a person. So just accept and know that what works for A doesn't always necessarily work for B. Just understand how your body works and know what works best for your body. So the ultimate goal is not to change your body type, because you actually cannot, but to love it and to work with it and not work against your body type. The thief of joy, as we always say, is comparison. Stop comparing yourself to what your friend looks like. And you're like, oh, my friend is this, my friend is that. You both can never have the same body type. Sorry to say. So now, very briefly, I want to talk about the strategies that worked for me, like the real life strategies that worked for me. The very first thing I want to talk about is calorie deficit. What do I mean by a calorie deficit? Calorie deficit refers to taking in fewer calories than you burn on a daily basis. Especially for those that lean towards the endomorphic kind of bodies. You're supposed to consume fewer calories than what you actually burn on a daily basis. This is the fundamental mechanism behind fat loss. But take note, it is not starving yourself. No. How does it work? Your body requires calories, and these calories are what we call energy. And your body requires all of this to operate, to breathe, for you to think, for you to move. When you consume more than you burn, you actually gain weight. But when you consume lesser than you burn, you actually lose weight. And if you do this safely and steadily, you would actually lose weight. Now let's see what I wrote here on my screen. I said smart and healthy calorie deficit. Let's say you aim for a modest deficit of 300 to 500 calories per day. This is safer and more sustainable, right? If you consume nutrient-dense foods like lean proteins, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats, then don't be too extreme. Eating too little will have the opposite effect. It will make you get tired, it will make you feel fatigued, you will lose muscles, and you have extreme cravings. I'm talking from personal experience. When I started then, one of the things I did a lot was intermittent fasting. Initially, I began with the 12 to 7 p.m. window, which is like 8 hours windows. We extended to the 1 time a day eating window, right? It was really hard, because I mean I had days when I was eating just once a day, and I'm not going to like, I had my cravings on those days were really extreme. That's when I felt hungry more. But then I had to remember that okay, this thing that I'm doing is for a purpose, is for a reason. So I ensured that in doing all of that. So the trick to proper intermittent fasting, especially if you're doing 24-hour window, is to ensure that you are eating enough fiber and you're eating enough protein so that you stay full for a longer time. Have you ever noticed that when you eat carbs, like when I mean carb now, I mean rice, I mean your yam, I mean your pastries like spaghetti, there's this urge to want to eat more, and you never get full. However, if you're eating protein like beans, more, the lesser you eat, I think the more you get full. For me, that's how it works, right? And that's how it's supposed to work. If you pay attention to your body while you are eating, you notice that when you're eating protein or you're eating things like fiber, you actually, if let's say you're eating 500 grams of carbs, you would likely not get full. Your body will still want to consume more. But let's say you're eating 500 grams of protein, you likely would not finish it before you get full. Which brings me to the second thing: eating slowly and portion control. Stop rushing your food. Nobody is fighting, nobody is dragging the plate of food with you. No, now I mean literally. When you take a spoon of food, like drop your spoon, drop your fork, and actually allow your taste bud savor the taste of that food. Don't be wolfing it down like somebody's going to collect the plate from you, right? So when you eat slowly, the reason why we encourage eating slowly is because it takes 20 minutes for your brain to register that, oh, I am full, and I don't need more. But by the time you are that's why most people now struggle with overfeeding. So by the time you have overfed yourself, your brain, by the time your brain is now telling you 20 minutes later that I'm full, don't consume more, you have already gone above your eating limit, right? Which now brings me to the third thing: portion control. Always reduce the quantity of food you eat. Let's say you are eating a meal, let's say your serving of meal is so much that you know that consuming it at one sitting will make you feel overfed. Why not divide that portion of food into two? Eat one portion now, and eat the other portion later. Yes, see, honestly, when you start this, right, you might feel hungry 90% of the time, because your body is just trying to adjust. Your body is trying to get used to your new eating system. But by the time you have practiced this consecutively for like 2 to 3 weeks and a month, you will no longer feel hungry, which is why I always encourage you to drink much water while you are eating. It tricks your body thinking that you are full and you don't need to consume more. So now there's, I like to call this like the morning magic: warm water plus lemon plus apple cider vinegar. Well, if you don't have apple cider vinegar, you could just use warm water and lemon. Take this on an empty stomach in the morning. What does it do for you? It aids digestion, it helps as a detox support, it also supports with weight management, it helps to boost your immunity. What all of this does is, and then I think for me, I noticed the period I was using it effectively, I didn't always feel hungry immediately. It helps to curb that hunger kick, so that you don't end up feeling hungry so early in the morning. Now, this is not to replace detox. There's still the room for your detox tea. And a quick tip I want to share: if you are going to be using ACV, which is apple cider vinegar, always dilute it with 1 tablespoon of water and use a straw to protect your teeth. Note that this is also not for everybody. Please pay attention to your body, how your body reacts and all of that. If you notice that you react funny when you use it, please don't use it again. Just stick to warm water and lemon. Okay, so another thing that worked for me was tracking my progress beyond the scale. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't use the scale to track your progress, right? Of course you can, you should, but it should not be your number one go-to for every time that you want to track your progress, for a lot of reasons. Major reason being that it is not every time that you climb the scale that you actually see or know that you have lost weight, because a lot of times our body retains water, our body retains fat. So there are other ways to track and know that you are losing weight when the scale is not bulging. One of those methods is your clothes. Pay attention to how well your clothes fit. Pay attention to your flexibility, how flexible you've become, how that you can walk longer. You can, certain things you couldn't do before, you can now do them better. You can take longer walks, you can take longer runs, you are more flexible, you're able to sleep better at night. When you finish eating, you do not feel so heavy, but you feel lighter. And then pay attention to your BMI. BMI is body mass index. It is not like, when I started working out, my BMI was a little bit overweight, but by the time I became consistent, my BMI had become normal. On my screen, as you can see displayed, is the proper range for your BMI, for you to know if you're actually overweight or you're actually now tending towards obesity. So most of the time, your body weight could be like 65, 62 kg. And depending on your height and your body build, your BMI will tell you that, okay, this weight is actually enough. Don't always pay attention to the fact that, oh, I want to hit a particular, like when I said I wanted to hit 50 kg, by all means necessary. But when I calculated my BMI, I observed that if I begin to weigh 50 kg with my body size and my height, I will become underweight. So I stopped to 62 kg, because at 62 kg I had a very healthy BMI. My BMI was somewhere around 24 to 23 kg, and that's actually a very, very healthy BMI. So when you are putting all this into consideration, remember to put your height, your body size, and your weight into consideration when you want to calculate your BMI. Conclusively, I will say that always remember that it's not about doing it fast, it's about doing it right. Stay patient, be self-aware, and stay consistent. With this, I've come to the end of our very first video for our YouTube channel. I trust you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, do also leave your questions in the comment section, and I will come back to answer every one of them and all that. So for next month, we're going to be having a guest speaker. I'll be taking us on a very interesting topic. It's going to be a live webinar. Trust me, you do not want to miss this live webinar. See you soon. Bye.